1st at 5:02 p.m. And I'm Dawn Quinn, the chair of the meeting today. Land acknowledgement on February the 21st, 2023, we acknowledge that this sacred land on which Smith Falls is now located has been a site of human activity for over 10,000 years and is rich in Indigenous history. The land is the ancestral and unceded territory of Algonquin and Anishinaabe Nation. We are grateful to the Algonquin ancestors who cared for the land and the water in order that we might meet here today. We are also grateful to the Algonquin people for their contribution in the making of the Rideau Canal, which runs through Smith Falls. We are mindful of broken covenants and the need to reconcile with all our relations. Together, we may care for this land and each other, drawing on the strength of our mutual history of nation building through peace and friendship, being mindful of generations to come. Thank you. So, amendments to the agenda. I think we have one addition. Clerk Bennett?
Yes, Madam. Yes, Madam Chair. Staff are seeking that council add a priority issue appointment of the chief building official to tonight's meeting. And my understanding is CAO Morris will be presenting that report.
Thank you. So that will be added. Are there any disclosure of monetary interests? Hearing none. We have no delegations, no adoptions of minutes, no CAO or director's reports, no correspondence items. So we are going to move to an in-camera issue. And the recommendation motion is that Council of the Corporation of the Town of Smith Falls, as provided in section 239 in brackets 2 of the Municipal Act of 2001 as amended, move into a closed meeting at 5:04 p.m. to discuss a litigation matter. I need a mover and a seconder for this. Councillor Robinson. Anyone else? You have to
I'll
holler
second that, Madam Chair.
And thank you, Councillor Brennan. Thank you very much. So we can move in camera, and this is with CAO Morris, please.
All right. We'll just wait a second. We'll get that screen taken back down. Perfect. All right, Madam Chair, it looks like we're back in open session now.
Thank you so kindly. And the rising and report on this in-camera session was that we have given staff direction on a legal matter. And that's it for this evening, for that particular matter. Now we can move on into priority issues, and we do have one this evening, and that is with CAO Morris, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So the recommendation this evening is to appoint Mr. Peter Black as the town's chief building official. We've had a change within building services, so we want to appoint Peter. He's been with us since, I believe, 2014 as a building inspector. And so we'd like to appoint him and rescind the CBO appointment for the former chief building official.
Comments? Anyone have comments?
Madam Chair, could I ask a quick question? If it's appropriate, CAO Morris, is this a permanent solution, or has Mr. Black been generous and is helping us out? Or both?
Yeah. Great question. I would say both. He's certainly been helping us out on a part-time basis. He has retired from a career in the building services. So yes, this is temporary. We are recruiting for a full-time position, so we'll be back once that recruitment is complete.
Thank you.
Any other comments? I don't hear anybody jumping in. I think this is great news, and it gives the town time to breathe and interview for potential possibilities. So that's wonderful. Thank you very much, CAO Morris. Will that be coming forward at our council meeting? Clerk
Yes,
Bennett?
it will. Yes, it will, Madam
Okay.
Chair. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So we have nothing else on tonight. So we have a recommended motion that the council adjourns its proceedings at 6:03 p.m. and stands so adjourned until the next duly called meeting of council. And I need a mover and a seconder on that also, please. Can I have somebody holler at me?
I'll move it.
Thank you, Stephen. And I need a seconder.
I can second, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Chris. So we're adjourned. Thank you.
If we can just take a few minutes, I'm just going to pass out the last item that we'll be adding to the agenda, the appointment of the CBO.
Nadine, that's my bylaw.
Yes, it'll be a bylaw. It'll be bylaw 7.9, and I'll send that to, actually, I just have a couple more to add here just as an outcome of the meeting. So I'll send that in a second. Hang on. I'll just pass those all out.
Okay, let's go. Get some things looked after here. Chris, you have the option of minutes. Be the seconder.
Yeah, Don's gonna second that one.
Okay. And Jay, you have. Where'd Jay go? Jay, you still there? The
That's
Steve?
I'll second that. Yeah.
Okay. Um, 7.2 taxis. Peter, you need a seconder?
Yes, I'll take anybody to second that one. Anybody would like it to?
I will, Peter.
Council- All right, Councillor Quinn,
Okay, Don. Item 7.3, wastewater. Don, you're moving that motion or the
I
bylaw.
have that, and my seconder is Chris McGuire.
Okay. And then 7.4 is Steve. You have a seconder?
Jay,
7.5 is with Counselor McGuire.
Chris, you a seconder?
Anybody but Jennifer? Jay? Okay.
Jay? Jennifer,
Sorry.
assume you'll be declaring on that, Jennifer?
Yeah, I think I have to declare on all of them, probably.
Okay, that's
Better safe
Yeah.
than sorry.
Okay, no problem.
And then 7.6, I have Counselor Quinn.
On your seconder?
I'm looking, can I have a seconder, please?
Yeah,
I'll do
Steve. Steve's got his hand up.
Thank you, Stephen.
7.7, I have Counselor Robinson.
who wants to second that?
Real Museum,
Peter?
Peter?
And 7.8, I have Counselor Brennan.
Seconder, Jay?
Looking for candidates.
I'll do it. No problem.
There's the
Thanks, Don.
volunteer.
And then 7.9, I have Counselor McKenna.
That's the chamber?
That's the chamber one, yeah.
And seconder for Peter?
I'll do it.
Okay, Steve.
And then 7.10, that is the appointment of the chief building official. I've sent that to you, Counselor Quinn, as well as Mayor Panko for the wording. So that's the
Okay.
bylaw to appoint a chief building official, bylaw 10427.
Okay. Oh, you said Don's got that?
Yes.
And then seconder Don?
I can do that, Dawn, if you want.
Thank you.
Okay. And Jennifer, you have the GAC replacement,
Yep.
your
Can I get
seconder,
a seconder? Peter?
Peter, okay. Climate action, Chris, your seconder is,
Anybody want to get that one?
I can.
Okay, Jennifer.
Jennifer. Don, you have 8.3, the RFP for the spring replacement,
Yes, and that's with Chris.
Chris. And municipal grants. Nadine, who do you have for that?
Municipal grants, sorry, I have Counselor McKenna.
And your seconder, Peter?
Counselor Brennan, I hope.
Yeah.
I said yes.
Fine, yeah. Adjournment? Chris, that's you.
Mr. Quinn.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, reports.
Yeah, I'll report on the Chamber of Commerce meeting.
Okay, anybody else? Nope. Okay,
I have trivia.
okay. James
I
excited.
hope it's not difficult.
I hope that it hasn't been done already. Everybody acts surprised.
Okay, we will.
Stumped.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay. So
And
whenever-
Dawn, I'll have a disclosure of monetary interest.
yeah, make sure I catch.
Oh, sorry, not Dawn, Sean,
Yeah,
next meeting.
okay. Okay,
Whenever you're set, Mayor Panko, we can count you in. All right, we'll go live in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back, everyone, to this meeting of Smith Falls Town Council for Tuesday, February 21st. I'll open the meeting by reading the land acknowledgement. On February 21st, we acknowledge that the sacred land in which Smith Falls is now located has been a site of human activity for over 10,000 years and is rich in Indigenous history. This land is the ancestral and unceded territory of the Algonquin Anishinaabe Nation. We're grateful to the Algonquin ancestors who cared for the land and water in order that we might be here today. We're also grateful to the Algonquin people for their contribution in the making of the Rideau Canal, which runs through Smith Falls. We're mindful of broken covenants and the need to reconcile with all our relations. Together, may we care for this land and each other, drawing on the strength of our mutual history of nation building through peace and friendship, and being mindful of generations to come. We've got one announcement. Please add item 7.10 to our agenda, which is a bylaw to appoint a new chief building official. And I just want to take a moment and provide a little bit of recognition for the Smith Falls Welcome to Ukraine group. And of course, February 24th this week is the 1-year anniversary of Russia's invasion of a sovereign Ukraine. And obviously we've seen, I think it's about 8 million people displaced at this point in time, such incredible devastation, loss of life, horrific situation. And through this whole process, we had a group of wonderful community members who came together, formed an informal group called Smith Falls Welcomes Ukraine, did some great fundraising, and have welcomed, I believe it's between 8 and 10 family units into our community who've settled here. And I met them and heard their stories, and they continue to be part of our community. We hope that their future dreams come true, whether that's the opportunity to return to Ukraine at some point in time, or for those who wish to make Smith Falls a permanent home. We'd love to have them here. But just some recognition, support for the great work this volunteer group has done, and how pleased we are to welcome these Ukrainians to become part of our community. Moving on, disclosure of monetary interest. Yes, Councillor Miller.
Thank you, Mayor Pankow. I need to declare a conflict with council agenda items 7.5 through to 7.9, as well as 8.4. They're the municipal grant allocations, and I'm employed by one of the recipients.
So duly noted. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sean,
Yes, Councillor Quinn.
I would like to declare a conflict of interest on 7.7, the Railway Museum of Eastern Ontario, because I sit on that board.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Anything further? No. Okay, we have no delegations. We do have adoption of minutes with Councillor McGuire, please.
Your worship, moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Quinn, the minutes of the February 6, 2023 council meeting be approved as circulated.
Thank you. Moved by Councillor McGuire, seconded by Councillor Quinn. The minutes of the February 6, 2023 council meeting be approved as circulated. All in favor? That's carried. Thank you. Reports. Councillor Robinson.
Yes. On January 8th, we attended a Chamber of Commerce meeting. The Chamber has several fundraising events planned for 2023. They're having a golf tournament June 9th at the Lombardy Golf Course. Rib Fest this year will be at Laurel Reach Park on June 24th, 25th, and 26th. And since there's also a Highland Band competition that weekend from 9 to 3 on the Saturday, they're hoping that partnering with them will draw more people to Rib Fest. They're also planning a gala event in late September at Gemmel's Flowers. It's going to be an industrial themed event. And last but not least, they wanted to convey that they can't continue with the same contract for Victoria Park without the cantina in operation. So I told them I'd relay it, and I did. So that's all I have to report.
Thank you. Any additional reports? I have one myself, and Deputy Clerk Bennett is going to put up an image for us here, but I wanted to bring council up to date on an initiative that happened during the last term of council through the Racism and Discrimination Task Force. And through that, one of the members, Charlene Catchpole, had designed an Indigenous healing circle. And we've been working at this for quite a period of time. The intention is to have it placed at the tip of Duck Island, where the sacred fire is held during the powwows. So this rendering with Sherbrooke Parks Canada. Parks Canada was seeking support from our Indigenous community And so late last year, Director Manhire, who is still here, along with Charlene Catchpole, myself, we went up and met with Indigenous leaders at Charlotte Lake. We met with Chiefs Doreen Davis and Chief Randy Malcolm and some of their staff. We went through what we have visioned here. And last week we received our letter of support from both chiefs. So just wanted to bring council up to date that this is underway and planned. We still need to put together probably a little more clarity and scale to the renderings. We're working on getting something that's going to be more formal than simply than a drawing. So Parks Canada has some idea of depth and breadth and scale. But the hope is that we would have this in place by June of this year. Staff had already procured or lined up to procure the various elements you see in front of you. And we're excited to bring this into our community to honor our Indigenous heritage of our town. Any questions?
No.
Okay, so we'll keep you informed as that moves forward. Okay, we have a number of bylaws, quite a bit of business to look after tonight. The first one is with Councillor Brennan, please.
Thank you. It's a big one. Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Robinson, that a bylaw adopt estimates for the sums required for municipal purposes for the year 2023 be now read a third time and finally passed, signed, sealed, and numbered 104-17-2023.
Thank you. This discussion, Councillor Brennan.
Well, this is the third reading of our budget, and as my colleagues know, we spent a great amount of time discussing this, and the challenges were real. The inflation was apparent, and we've come up with a budget that I think is reasonable, and we did everything we could to recognize the costs that our residents face, and as well recognize the needs that our community needs. So this budget reflects a 3.38 increase in your property taxes. It represents well, we already passed this, the water and the wastewater, which is 5.5, and the wastewater was 3.5. So we did that a week or two ago so we could get the bills out. We talked about that. But it also includes almost, well, it's $18.5 million in capital work. And so a substantial amount of that when it goes into our water and especially our wastewater plant, and also to our roads and our and infrastructure that we need to be done. So we've come in under inflation, and I'm happy to support this. And this is our budget for 2023.
Thank you. Further comments, Councillor Quinn?
Thank you. I would like a recorded vote on this bylaw, and I'm not going to support the budget. I know there's been a lot of work put into it. I realize that, but a lot of that work was put into it before I was at this table. And I just think that because things are so difficult at the time and the economy is so unstable, that it's a difficult time to be putting heavy taxes on our residents of the town of Smith Falls. So I would like to see us really work hard to see where we can cut costs for our next budget. I'm sure that this budget will pass. And like I said, I have mixed feelings. I realize we need the money to move forward, but I also realize that people are having a hard time making ends meet, and to put another burden on them is just too difficult. Thank you.
Further comments? Councillor McKenna.
Well, Mr. Mayor, just to say that to describe this as a heavy taxed budget is a bit of a perhaps misleading. I think if we looked around Eastern Ontario, all of the municipalities are taxing probably at a much higher rate than ourselves. And I think staff and all of this work was done since this council was elected. And all of the work on preparing this budget is done with this council and this staff. So I'm happy to support the budget. It is a difficult time. Councillor Brennan, I think, did a very good explanation of the challenging job that we face and our residents face, and we do appreciate that. But this is a solid budget put together by this table and a very competent group of staff. So I'll be happy to support it tonight.
Okay. Additional comments from council? I too will support the budget. I appreciate the comments that have been made, and I think we've been very conscious of our taxpayers' ability to pay. And let's remember too that 2022 there was no increase; it was 0%. And so there was a lot of relief that year. And 2 years before that was also 0%. So the tax increases in recent years have been very modest, and considering inflation is running about double the rate of what we are increasing taxes by. And to Councillor Brennan's point, $18.4 million, $18.5 million of capital work, essential work, and deferring work to next year. We know that the cost simply gets more expensive. So I'm pleased to support the budget. A recorded vote has been requested. I'll read the bylaw and turn it over to Deputy Clerk Bennett. It was moved by Councillor Brennan, seconded by Councillor Robinson, that a bylaw to adopt estimates of the sums required for municipal purposes for the year 2023 be now read a third time and finally passed, signed, sealed, and numbered 10417-2023, and recorded vote has been requested.
With respect to bylaw 10417-2023, please state yay or nay. Councillor Brennan,
Yay.
Councillor McGuire,
Yay.
Councillor McKenna,
Yay.
Councillor Miller,
Yay.
Councillor Quinn,
Nay.
and Councillor Robinson,
Yay.
and Mayor Panko.
Yay.
This bylaw is carried.
Thank you. Moving on, Councillor McKenna, you have the next bylaw.
Yes, Your Worship, moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Quinn, that a bylaw to amend bylaw 7739-03, being a bylaw for licensing, regulating, and governing brokers, owners, and drivers of taxi cabs, be received and read a first time and taken as read a second time.
Thank you. Moved by Councillor McKenna and seconded by Councillor Quinn, that a bylaw to amend bylaw 7739-03, being a bylaw for licensing, regulating, and governing brokers, owners, and drivers of taxi cabs, be received and read a first time and taken as read a second time. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Discussion, Councillor McKenna?
Yes, Deputy Chief Empey presented to council a couple of weeks ago that her team had reviewed this particular bylaw, as because the police force is responsible for helping organize all of those licensing. So what she did in updating and recommending to council that we update that bylaw was been able to actually save hundreds of dollars per license on an annual basis by going to a very simple method rather than stamping out a badge. There's some laminating options that were much more efficient, and that efficiency and got rid of some red tape in the bylaw, tidied it up. And I thought it was a great initiative brought forward by the Deputy Chief, and happy to support it tonight.
Thank you. Any further discussion? A third reading, please.
Yes, again, moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Quinn, that a bylaw to amend bylaw 7739-03, being a bylaw for licensing, regulating, and governing brokers, owners, and drivers of taxi cabs, being now read a third time and finally passed, signed, sealed, and numbered 10419-2023.
Thank you. It is moved by Councillor McKenna and seconded by Councillor Quinn, that a bylaw to amend bylaw 7739-03, being a bylaw for licensing, regulating, and governing brokers, owners, and drivers of taxi cabs, be now read a third time and finally passed, signed, sealed, and numbered 10419-2023. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Councillor Quinn, you have our next bylaw.
Thank you, Your Worship. recommended motion moved by myself, seconded by Councilor McGuire, that a bylaw to authorize an exemption to the procurement bylaw to permit the manager of the water wastewater treatment to purchase select 2023 capital items be received and read a first time and taken as read a second time.
Thank you. It is moved by Councillor Quinn and seconded by Councillor McGuire. The bylaw to authorize an exemption to the procurement bylaw to permit the manager of water wastewater treatment to purchase select 2023 capital items be received and read a first time and taken as read a second time. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Discussion, Councillor Quinn?
This is just an exemption that we're doing because this is equipment that is required at the water wastewater treatment plant, and we're giving Jason Barlow the ability to be able to move forward and purchase these products that he needs, this equipment that he needs for the water wastewater treatment.
Thank you. Any further discussion? May I have a third reading, please?
Moved by myself, seconded by Councilor McGuire, that a bylaw to authorize an exemption to the procurement bylaw to permit the manager of the water wastewater treatment to purchase select 2023 capital items now be read a third time and finally passed, signed, sealed, and numbered 10420-2023.
Thank you. It is moved by Councillor Quinn and seconded by Councillor McGuire. The bylaw to authorize an exemption to the procurement bylaw to permit the manager of water wastewater treatment to purchase select 2023 capital items be now read a third time and finally passed, signed, sealed, and numbered 10420-2023. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. And Councillor Robinson, you're up next.
Thank you. Moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Brennan, that a bylaw to authorize an exemption to bylaw 6018-94 as amended, being a bylaw for prohibiting or regulating the erection of signs, advertising devices, posting of notices, portable signs, and merchandise displays within the town of Smiths Falls be received and read a first time and taken as read a second time.
Thank you. It is moved by Councillor Robinson and seconded by Councillor Brennan that a bylaw to authorize an exemption to bylaw 6018-94 as amended, being a bylaw for prohibiting or regulating the erection of signs, advertising devices, posting of notices, portable signs, and merchandise displays within the town of Smiths Falls be received and read a first time and taken as read a second time. All in favor? It's carried. Thank you. Details, Councillor Robinson?
Yes, this is basically for the hospital. They have I guess it's a portable sign that they have on their property. It's going to be in contravention of the bylaw, so they asked for an exemption. It will probably be moved so that there's no obstruction of traffic or view, but that's what it's all about until they can put up a permanent one.
Any further discussion? May I have third reading, please?
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Brennan, that a bylaw to authorize an exemption to bylaw 6018-94 as amended, being a bylaw for prohibiting or regulating the erection of signs, advertising devices, posting of notices, portable signs, and merchandise displays within the town of Smiths Falls be now read a third time and finally passed, signed, sealed, and numbered 10421-2023.
Thank you. It is moved by Councillor Robinson and seconded by Councillor Brennan that a bylaw to authorize an exemption to bylaw 6018-94 as amended, being a bylaw for prohibiting or regulating the erection of signs, advertising devices, posting of notices, portable signs, and merchandise displays within the town of Smiths Falls be now read a third time and finally passed, signed, sealed, and numbered 10421-2023. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Councillor McGuire, you have the next bylaw.
Thank you, Your Worship. Moved by myself and seconded by Councillor, I forget, was that one Quinn?
Brennan?
Okay, Councillor Brennan, that a bylaw to authorize a memorandum of understanding with the Big Brothers Big Sisters of Lanark County respecting municipal grant funding be received and read a first time and taken as read a second time.
Thank you. It is moved by Councillor McGuire and seconded by Councillor Brennan That a bylaw to authorize a memorandum of understanding with the Big Brothers Big Sisters of Lanark County respecting municipal grant funding be received, read a first time, and taken as read a second time. All in favor? It's carried. Thank you. Discussion, Councillor McGuire?
Yes, this agreement is for $30,000 for the after-school program that's on Main Street in its new location. So look forward to getting to visit the new location in the future.
Thank you. Any further discussion? May I have a third reading, please?
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Brennan, that a bylaw to authorize a memorandum of understanding with the Big Brothers Big Sisters of Lanark County respecting municipal grant funding be now read a third time and finally passed, signed, sealed, and numbered 10422-2023.
Thank you. It is moved by Councillor McGuire and seconded by Councillor Brennan. The bylaw to authorize a memorandum of understanding with the Big Brothers Big Sisters of Lanark County respecting municipal grant funding be now read a third time and finally passed, signed, sealed, and numbered 10422-2023. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. And Councillor Quinn, you're up next.
Thank you, Your Worship. Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Robinson, that a bylaw to authorize a memorandum of understanding with the Rideau Environmental Action League respecting the municipal grant funding be received and read a first time and taken as read a second time.
Thank you. It is moved by Councillor Quinn and seconded by Councillor Robinson that a bylaw to authorize a memorandum of understanding with the Real Environmental Action League respecting municipal grant funding be received or read a first time and taken as read a second time. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Discussion, Councillor Quinn.
This is just moving this forward so that the grant funding will go to the Rideau Environmental Action League and to help them to move forward with their business that they conduct during the year. And we're pleased to have this brought forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion? No, maybe a third reading, please.
Moved by myself, second by Councillor Robinson, that a bylaw to authorize a memorandum of understanding with the Rideau Environmental Action League respecting municipal grant funding be now read a third time and finally passed, signed, sealed, and numbered 10423-2023.
Thank you. It is moved by Councillor Quinn and seconded by Councillor Robinson that a bylaw to authorize a memorandum of understanding with the Real Environmental Action League respecting municipal grant funding be now read a third time and finally passed, signed, sealed, and numbered 10423-2023. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Councillor Robinson, back to you.
Thank you. Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor McKenna, that a bylaw to authorize a memorandum of understanding with the Railway Museum of Eastern Ontario respecting municipal grant funding be received and read a first time and taken as read a second time.
Thank you. It is moved by Councillor Robinson and seconded by Councillor McKenna that a bylaw to authorize a memorandum of understanding with the Railway Museum of Eastern Ontario respecting municipal grant funding be received and read first time and taken as read a second time. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Discussion, Councillor Robinson.
Thank you. This is just moving forward with the municipal grant of $26,000 for the Railway Museum of Eastern Ontario to help with their operations.
Thank you. Any further discussion? May I have a third reading, please?
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor McKenna, that a bylaw to authorize a memorandum of understanding with the Railway Museum of Eastern Ontario respecting municipal grant funding be now read a third time and finally passed, signed, sealed, and numbered 10424-2023.
Thank you. It is moved by Councillor Robinson and seconded by Councillor McKenna that a bylaw to authorize a memorandum of understanding with the Railway Museum of Eastern Ontario respecting municipal grant funding be now read a third time and finally passed, signed, sealed, and numbered 10424-2023. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Councillor Brennan.
Thank you. Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Quinn, that a bylaw to authorize a memorandum of understanding with the Table Community Food Center respecting municipal grant funding be received and read a first time and taken as read a second time.
Thank you. It is moved by Councillor Brennan and seconded by Councillor Quinn that a bylaw to authorize a memorandum of understanding with the Table Community Food Center respecting municipal grant funding be received and read a first time and taken as read a second time. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Discussion, Councillor Brennan?
Well, yeah, that's in the vein of what we've heard before, and this particular grant is for $30,000, and we've had a presentation from all these groups, and they're all important groups, and this one especially. And so, you know, I'm pleased to support this. The table, you know, has come forward as well as many other community groups, churches, the Legion, to support this. So we hope we can find a place for them to reside, and happy to support it.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Third reading, please.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Quinn, that a bylaw authorize a memorandum of understanding with the Table Community Food Center respecting municipal grant funding be now read a third time and finally passed, signed, sealed, and numbered 10425/2023.
Thank you. It is moved by Councillor Brennan and seconded by Councillor Quinn that a bylaw to authorize a memorandum of understanding with the Table Community Food Center respecting municipal grant funding be now read a third time and finally passed, signed, sealed, and numbered 10425/2023. All in favor? That's carried. Thank you. And Councillor McKenna, you have the next bylaw.
Yes, moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Robinson that a bylaw to authorize a memorandum of understanding with the Smith Falls Chamber of Commerce respecting municipal grant funding be received and read a first time and taken as read a second time.
Thank you. It is moved by Councillor McKenna and seconded by Councillor Robinson that a bylaw to authorize a memorandum of understanding with the Smith Falls Chamber of Commerce respecting municipal grant funding be received and read a first time and taken as read a second time. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Discussion, Councillor McKenna?
Again, another important municipal grant to our business partners in the Chamber of Commerce to help them keep the chamber going and organize events on behalf of both the buying community and the business community.
Thank you. Any further discussion? May I have a third reading, please?
Again, moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Robinson that a bylaw to authorize a memorandum of understanding with the Smith Falls Chamber of Commerce respecting municipal grant funding be now read a third time and finally passed, signed, sealed, and numbered 10426-2023.
Thank you. It is moved by Councillor McKenna and seconded by Councillor Robinson that a bylaw to authorize a memorandum of understanding with the Smith Falls Chamber of Commerce respecting municipal grant funding be now read a third time and finally passed, signed, sealed, and numbered 10426-2023. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. And our last bylaw is back to you, Councillor Quinn.
No.
It's the chief building official appointment that I emailed you.
Appointment. That's with me, Sean.
Yes.
Sorry. Moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Miller that a bylaw to appoint Peter Black as chief building official for the town of Smith Falls be read a first time and taken as read a second time. Thank you.
Thank you. Moved by Councillor Quinn and seconded by Councillor Miller. The bylaw to appoint Peter Black as chief building official for the town of Smith Falls be read a first time and taken as read a second time. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Discussion, Councillor Quinn?
This is great news to have Peter here with us, Peter Black here with us. And this gives the town opportunity to investigate and sort for someone that will come in as a full-time building chief building official. So this gives us just chance to be able to go out and look for someone. But it's wonderful to have Peter back with us. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion? May I have a third reading, please?
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Miller, that a bylaw to appoint Peter Black as our chief building official for the town of Smith Falls be now read a third time, finally passed, signed, sealed, and numbered 10427-2023.
Thank you. It is moved by Councillor Quinn and seconded by Councillor Miller that a bylaw to appoint Peter Black as a chief building official for the town of Smith Falls be now read a third time and finally passed, signed, sealed, and numbered 10427-2023. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. That's it for our bylaws. Councillor Miller, you have the first motion.
Thank you. Moved by myself and seconded by Councillor McKenna that the Council of the Corporation of the Town of Smith Falls award tender 2022-PW-010 to Continental Carbon Group, Inc. for the replacement of the water treatment plant granular activated carbon, GAC, filter media. And further, that council authorize the mayor and the clerk to execute a contract agreement with Continental Carbon Group in the amount of $406,836.48, inclusive of the non-recoverable HST.
Thank you. Further discussion?
So this is a much needed replacement part for our water treatment plant and part of our infrastructure work for 2023. And the Continental Carbon Group was the successful bidder.
Thank you. Any further discussion? It is moved by Councillor Miller and seconded by Councillor McKenna. The Council of the Corporation of the Town of Smith Falls award tender 22-PW-010 to Continental Carbon Group, Inc. for the replacement of the water treatment plant granular activated carbon, GAC, filter media. And further, the council authorized the mayor and clerk to execute a contract agreement with Continental Carbon Group, Inc. in the amount of $406,836.48, inclusive of the non-recoverable HST. All in favor? That's carried. Thank you. Councillor McGuire, you have our next motion.
Thank you, Your Worship. Moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Miller that Councillor Don Quinn be appointed to the County of Lanark Climate Action Working Group for the 2022-2026 term of council.
Thank you. Discussion, please.
I'd like to thank Councillor Quinn for taking this on. There's been a lot of interesting stuff coming out of the working group to date, so I'm really excited to see what the new term brings. So,
thank you. Any further discussion? And I missed last week's meeting when this was discussed, but I too will thank you, Councillor Quinn. I sat on this group over the last 4 years. It's a very knowledgeable and passionate group, and I know you will really enjoy the experience.
Thank you.
So it's moved by Councillor McGuire and seconded by Councillor Miller that Councillor Don Quinn be appointed to the County of Lanark Climate Action Working Group for the 2022-2026 term of council. All in favor? That's carried. Thank you. Councillor Quinn, you're up next.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor McGuire, that the Council of the Corporation of the Town of Smith Falls award tender 22-PW-008 to Hartington Mechanical Limited for the replacement of the water pollution control plant bar screens. And further, that council authorized the mayor and the clerk to execute a contract agreement with Hartington Mechanical Limited in the amount of $899,914.56 in brackets inclusive of the non-refundable HST.
Thank you. Discussion, Councillor Quinn.
It's pretty self-explanatory. This is something that has to be replaced at the water pollution control plant, and we needed to move forward on this.
Thank you. Anything further? It's moved by Councillor Quinn and seconded by Councillor McGuire. The Council of the Corporation of the Town of Smith Falls award tender 22-PW-008 to Harrington Mechanical Ltd. for the replacement of the water pollution control plant bar screens. And further, that council authorized the mayor and clerk to execute a contract agreement with Harrington Mechanical Limited in the amount of $899,914.56, inclusive of the non-recoverable HST. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. And our last formal piece of business is with Councillor McKenna, please.
Yes, Your Worship. Moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Brennan. That Council of the Corporation of the Town of Smith Falls approve the following 2023 municipal grant allocations. Rideau Paddle Fest, Rideau Roundtable, $3,820. Smith Falls Horticultural Society, $600. Rideau Environmental Action League, $7,500. Big Brothers Big Sisters of Lanark County, $30,000. The Railway Museum of Eastern Ontario, $26,000. The Table Community Food Center, on behalf of the Smith Falls Food Security Advocacy Group, $30,000. Rise at the Falls Car Club, $750. And the Smith Falls and District Chamber of Commerce, $5,000.
Thank you. Any further discussion?
Just to say that these groups and many, many more are what makes this such a special place to live and work. And most of these organizations are volunteer driven, and they just add rich vitality to what it already is a wonderful place to live. So really pleased to see them receiving these grants.
Thank you. Anything further? It is moved by Councillor McKenna and seconded by Councillor Brennan. The Council of the Corporation of the Town of Smith Falls approve the following 2023 municipal grant allocations. Rideau Paddle Fest / Rideau Roundtable, $3,820. Smith Falls Horticultural Society, $600. Rideau Environmental Action League, in brackets, REAL, $7,500. Big Brothers Big Sisters of Lanark County, $30,000. Railway Museum of Eastern Ontario, $26,000. The Table Community Food Center on behalf of the Smith Falls Food Security Advocacy Group, $30,000. Rise to Falls Car Club, $750. And the Smith Falls and District Chamber of Commerce, $5,000. All in favor? That is carried. Thank you. And we'll welcome back Councillor Miller for inquiries and announcements. Councillor Brennan.
Yes, I do have one brief announcement regarding the Heritage House. The Heritage House is going to be hosting a St. Patrick's Day children's program on St. Patrick's Day, which is, we all know, is March 17th. From 9 to 2. To register, please contact their Heritage House at 613-283-6311 for more details. So keep that in mind, wear your green.
Thank you. Councillor Miller, I believe you have something to share as well.
I do. So I was tagged to do our trivia for this week, where we highlight interesting facts about our community. And as you know, with my passion for our local business community, I'm going to stick with that theme. So here's my question for tonight. When the Chamber of Commerce was first formed in 1929, it was called the Board of Trade. How many members did it have at that time? And bonus points if you can list some of the first members.
There were 37 members.
Did you just Google that, or did you already ask this question?
No, I just pulled that out of thin air.
Good for you. And some of the first members were the Record News, A&P, Beamish, and the Royal Bank.
How many were there?
37, you were right.
Oh, that's not right.
Peter, you better buy your lottery ticket next.
Well, I thought Jennifer was asking me her age, so I just threw it out there.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Well done. Well done, both of you. Okay, who's got it for the next meeting? I think we picked on Jennifer last meeting as a new counselor. How about Councillor Robinson?
Well, if that's your direction, Mr. Mayor, I'll take it.
Okay. Unless someone else volunteers.
Oh, I'll go. I'll do it.
Okay, thank you. Okay, any further announcements? Okay, let's move on to our adjournment, which is with Councillor McGuire.
Thank you, Your Worship. Moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Quinn that this council adjourn its proceedings at 6:50 p.m. and stands so adjourned until the next duly called meeting of council.
Thank you. It's moved by Councillor McGuire and seconded by Councillor Quinn that this council adjourns proceedings at 6:50 p.m. and stands so adjourned until the next duly called meeting of council. All in favor? And we are adjourned. Good night, everyone.
Bye.
Good night, everyone.